We love these Know Your Dough segments that the Tennessee Valley Federal Credit Union is kind to bring our way on a pretty regular basis. Part of the fun for us is that at the credit union, they have so many different ways they can cover helping you with your money that we have a chance to talk to different representatives from TVFCU each and every time they're here. So this morning, it's Marcus Johnson's turn. He is a business lender there. So if you have got an idea for a small business, perhaps you already are a small business owner, he's the brain you want to pick. So
Thank
good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Last time you were here, we were talking about the Idea Leap grant awardings.
Yes.
Always an exciting time for you. And as fun as it is to give away $175,000 to what, 11
small businesses, yes.
It's really also kind of heartbreaking because you want to help them all.
Yep.
So when you talk about the business of owning a business, do people sometimes, Marcus, forget about the business side of it?
Yes, yes. So what we see sometimes is you're really passionate about something, right? Baking or electrical work or whatever it is, right? And the first thing you think is, hey, you know what? I can make some money doing this, right? But there's a lot behind that once you jump out the window and you decide, hey, I'm going to come out on my own, right? There's administrative things that you have to think about. If you're going to become an LLC or a sole proprietorship, if you're going to become a partnership or an S Corp. So there are some things that business owners sometimes don't totally think through because sometimes they don't have the resources or the guidance or the help, or they don't know where to go. And so that's the biggest piece that we try to do at the credit union, not just making loans, but providing some good counsel and some advice to new entrepreneurs and even current entrepreneurs about things that we may see whenever they are applying for a loan application or come to us for some help that may be able to help them kind of get their house in order.
My dad was a small business owner. He had grocery stores in the Atlanta area, and he was a worrier.
Okay.
So I think he was one to really hold tight for the rainy day.
Yep.
That good old cash flow was always a concern. The world doesn't seem to work that way all the time anymore, but are those still important principles to remember?
Oh, absolutely. Cash flow is very important. And more specifically, whenever you're coming to a particular lender and you're making a request, you want to really understand your financials, right? So what that means is if you're paying a CPA to do your taxes, don't just write the check and make sure that you don't have to owe anything. Actually ask questions. I often tell my customers that when you're paying someone to do your taxes, you're actually paying for an education. You have the right to ask that CPA, hey, should I take this deduction? Or what does this line item mean? Because if the bank is asking you questions, you want to be able to be prepared to answer those questions, to have some kind of general idea around your financial situation. And so I often think that for small businesses, to ask your CPA questions is very important.
I mean, I would think that a small business owner is going to have a very different mindset than the average bank customer, because we live in a world now where very few of us even check our bank statements, I think, on a regular basis. But if you've taken the sweat equity to pour into your small business, surely you're checking those financial statements. People do that, right?
Yeah, I think people certainly check their financial statements, but I think sometimes what often gets missed is actually understanding, right? Because a lot of folks, I mean, the goal is whenever you're filing your taxes is, I don't want to owe anything. I don't want to pay anything. But when you're an entrepreneur, sometimes that shouldn't be the goal, right? If you're in growth mode, if you're trying to buy some equipment, if you're trying to buy a building, you need to make sure that your tax strategy is aligned with your growth strategy. So you need to ask your CPA, hey, I'm going to need $500,000 next year to go and buy this piece of commercial real estate. So should I take every single deduction I can take so that I don't owe anything?
Right.
So it's just important for the business owner to align themselves with their CPA and make sure everyone's talking so that ultimately that entrepreneur can achieve their goal.
What about the fact that several things. One, once upon a time, if you wanted to go into business, you would go and get a business degree. Now you see mom and pops from people's kitchens at home on the internet thriving. So you don't have to have that business background, but you do need a business education, right? Some knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you need a support system, right? You need folks around you that you either know or that can connect you to other people that can help you on the legal side, right? Make sure that you're thinking about how to set up your company the right way. You need some folks that you can trust on the bookkeeping side, right? You need some folks that you can trust on the product development side. So you may be the visionary and the person that's driving the idea and the person that's actually going to be the strategic thinker. And you don't have to be a subject matter expert in marketing or legal or accounting, but you do have to be able to build those relationships. And Chattanooga, thankfully, we have an awesome ecosystem of small business partners in this community that can answer a lot of the questions that entrepreneurs generally struggle with.
So with the minute I have left, is that something that y'all can help facilitate, even pointing people in a direction?
Absolutely, absolutely. So through our Idea Leap loan program, one of the things that we do is we require new requests to come directly from some of our small business partners. So the Urban League, the Tennessee Small Business Development Center, Launch, Colab, and there are several others. They're all listed on our website. But one of the first things we do is refer new entrepreneurs to one of those organizations because they're equipped to help them to build out the business plan, to think through their ideas, and then to hopefully help them to understand how to access capital so that they can grow.
That's why I always make the mistake, and then I correct myself, but I always make the C in Tennessee Valley Federal Credit Union. I always make it community. Because
I like that.
Well, that really is how you are. So thank
yeah.
you, Marcus.
Thank you.
You can always learn more at their website, tvfcu.com. The reason you see the 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on there is if you're not a customer of theirs already, you don't know this, but their interpersonal tellers are there 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to help you with your banking. But just go inside and talk to somebody, maybe even Marcus.
Thank you.